Welcome, everybody. This is Andrew David. This is Blake Newbar's partner program. And really, what I want to talk about today is you got to get used to losing once in a while. You got to. Stuff happens, right? Things aren't always going to go well. And when you get used to the fact that things don't always go well, the overwhelm that we were talking about yesterday becomes easier because we're not trying to become perfect. That's one reason so many of you guys are struggling, because you're going through life and you're trying to be, 13-0. You're trying to be perfect at bat. You're trying to get everything correct, everything that you launch, everything that you do, all of the ads that you put out, every message that you do. And so you get frustrated when things don't go according to plan. Whereas instead of being, 13-0, you should work on being 125-83. Volume and get it out there. Now, I come in and occasionally people go, yeah, Andrew, but what about, you're doing this or Blake's doing that, and it's easy for you guys to talk about. Blake talked about it on the high performance call he joined a few weeks ago. He talked about the 30 plus, like all these different things that he had done that didn't work, right? Before I started online, I had a couple of different businesses, and I started working with my ex-father-in-law as an employee, got into cleaning and restoration. That's how all of that started. It's not like I woke up and grew up as a kid dreaming about cleaning carpets, but that's kind of where my path led me for a while. And the plan was to just do that for a year or two till I figured things out, because, the wife at the time, hey, you should work with my dad. Okay, great. I'll do it for a little while. How many of you guys did that with your career? You started it for a year or so and you're like, oh, I'm just going to test things out. All of a sudden, a decade goes by and you go, wow, in the hell am I still doing this stuff? This is crazy. Well, that's kind of where I found myself. We built up, and then we built a business, and we had a couple that didn't quite work out. And then we built one up that, yeah, it worked well. Then I was forced to walk away from a business that was doing 7 figures. I was gone, and I had to start over, and have done that a couple of times. Now, when I got into marketing online, I talked about the Disney store that didn't go well. That was a great and expensive learning experience. Learned really what I didn't know. And then I went out and I dove into marketing and trying to figure out what this was. And I found a mentor and I learned and learned and learned and learned. And through that, I got connected with a buddy that was doing marketing, and he had supplements. He's like, I want to market this. And so we became partners, and I came in with the marketing side and we blew it up. And it was a weight loss Garcinia Cambogia a few years ago. If you guys kind of remember hearing about that, it's still around, but Garcinia Cambogia, a colon cleanse, a multivitamin, we had a eye serum, and we had a facial cream, right? And it was white labeled service or white label products. Everyone understands what that is, right? We found a manufacturer here in the States. We threw our label on it and we'd rock and roll. Well, we got the marketing down and got it down well, but scaled too quickly. Stripe and all of these other payment processors didn't like how quickly we were growing. And they freaked out. And so since it's different than a regular bank, they started holding funds. Well, we're going to hold a certain amount in case that there's chargebacks. We're going to hold more in case there's chargebacks. We're going to hold more in case there's chargebacks. At one point, they were holding up to like 90% of our income. At that point, you can't really pay your wholesalers. You can't pay. We had hired employees. We had like 5 people working just customer service, taking orders, fulfilling requests, customer service questions, all that kind of stuff. Like, we were growing. They were holding hundreds of thousands of dollars, and we're sitting there going, now what? We can't do anything. They go, we're going to hold it for 30 days. Yeah, we're going to hold it for 60. We're going to hold it for 90. I think we might hold it for 180. And you're sitting there going, like, it's selling. We were selling online. We were running radio. We had commercials on TV that were running in different markets. We had LA, Miami, and a couple of other smaller ones, in the middle of the day during the Ellen DeGeneres show. Like, we were cruising, and then we couldn't get paid. And the whole thing just blew up. And we said, you know what, we figured out this marketing thing. Instead of selling the supplements, why don't we started generating leads for travel companies, for timeshare. I'm in Orlando. So, hi, timeshare. Anyone own a timeshare or done any timeshare? I wasn't selling the timeshares. I was just helping people book vacations. Don't hate me. So we were helping book travel for that, generating leads. And then we came up with this idea, and I've talked about it. It's been months, but we came up with this idea about a digital kiosk. Everybody, you walk into a hotel, everyone's seen the brochure rack. You walk in and there's 50 brochures. There's everything to do. Well, Orlando, those brochure racks are pretty big because there's all these restaurants and there's all these different things, different forms of entertainment. And so what we did is we said, what if we took those brochures and we digitized it? And we put it on a kiosk, a big 6 foot tall iPad looking thing. It was a touch screen, kind of like Netflix or Redbox. Redbox was brand new at the time. Brand new. We said, what if we did kind of that similar thing, but with the restaurants and attractions and everything else? Right? What could we do? How could we do that? And so we figured out categories. We had restaurant categories and entertainment categories and golf and all of these other things. And so we would list the businesses on there. And if you came up and you went, well, I want to eat steak, well, you'd find the steakhouses, you'd click on whichever one that you wanted, dinner shows, everything. And you could get a coupon texted or emailed to you on your phone, right? Boom, here we go. And now the advertisers are paying to be on the space. We're putting them inside the hotels because there's over 520 something hotels here in Orlando. At least there were at the time. Some of them had concierge services, some didn't. But how many times you walk in to go to the concierge and there's a line, or you just go, I don't want to talk with the concierge. And so here we go. Here's the solution, right? And the concierge is in there 24 hours a day anyway. So now we have this digital solution. So we built up that business. I partnered with that guy. We built it up. We ended up becoming affiliates with Expedia, little travel company you guys may have heard of. They've got a local program called the Local Experts, where they've got people all over the world. Now, what we didn't understand at the time was that Expedia was becoming a partner because that digital kiosk was going to kill their concierge business, right? So he said, yeah, we'll partner up and we'll put it in the hotels that we're in and we'll do this and we'll do that. And now we're able to get it to grow. We're able to get it going. I ended up getting bought out, and I'm glad I did. Looking back, it turned into a company worth a lot. I got a very small amount of that because I was almost forced out before because, people with money came in, and my partner kind of behind the scenes sold shares. And so my shares mine were diluted. And we could get into the whole dynamics of LLCs and everything else on another conversation. Point is, sometimes you just get kicked. Sometimes you swing and you swing and you swing and things are working and it doesn't work out. And you get to decide, are you going to quit or are you going to get back up? You're going to learn from it. And you're going to keep going. Now, I don't want any of you to get to the point where I did with that. Like, we built that up. That was a company that was valued up into the 8 figures based on, and investments were coming in and things were going well. I don't want any of you to have to deal with something like that, but you've got to understand that as you roll this business, things aren't going to be perfect. Your ads aren't going to be perfect. The first time you launch that funnel, that's why Blake talks about launching them perfectly. That's why you need to stop this whole idea of waiting for perfection. All that is a disguise for insecurity. That's you thinking that you have to be perfect because what are other people going to say and how are they going to judge, when what you need to do is just go out there and do more. And be willing to lose once in a while. And you become, and I'm not saying be okay with losing. I'm saying fall in love with the process, because not hitting it out of the park every single time is part of that process. And so quit thinking that anytime something doesn't go exactly perfect, it's a loss. Start thinking of it as this is a learning opportunity to continue to advance. Your ad not working or a post not going right or something happening. And the more that you do, it happens with volume, guys. You succeed with volume and time, and then perfecting your craft over that time and through that volume. That's it. If you're feeling overwhelmed, it's because you're trying to make it perfect. And you think everything has to give you that result right now. So step back, take a deep breath. Become okay with what it is. Maria, at the beginning of this call, I was asking her about what happened in this group. Some of you guys that missed it, and she ended up getting kicked out. If you approach it with the attitude, kind of like what she was saying, and if I heard the emphasis of her voice the right way, it sounds like she's learned from it and accepted it, and it's okay, and she's going to move on. Because guess what? There's a hell of a lot of other Facebook groups out there that you can get into and provide value. And down the road, this then becomes a teaching opportunity where you can say to your customers, when I started this whole marketing journey, I was in your face. I didn't understand this process of developing a relationship with your customers. And so that's why I want to help you guys do it. I want to help you avoid the mistakes that I did. Right? That's why now a lot of the stuff that I do, when I talk to you guys about it, I've got people that I subcontract to, but partnerships are a different world. Things are a bit different when it comes to that side of business for me. Right? I've learned a few lessons in that regard, and now as you get going, just understand that you've just got to be consistent and keep going. Yeah, Jeff's saying he launched without the videos. Do it without the videos. Just have a thumbnail there, right? Do something. Just get it out there, guys. Don't quit trying to be perfect and just go, right? And if you get nothing else from today's call, know that you can overcome the obstacles if you're willing to just keep going forward. Time and time again, we could talk about, look, baseball Hall of Famers, 300, 350, like they bat 3 to 4 out of the 10 times they get up to the plate, they actually hit the ball. That's it. Right? Hank Aaron, before Barry Bonds, we won't get into that, but Hank Aaron, home run king for a lot of years, is also one of the league leaders in history for strikeouts. Right? Guys, just keep going forward. Just keep doing what you need to do. Understand the ups and downs are part of the game. Once you accept that feeling of, oh my gosh, it's too much, I'm overwhelmed, I'm questioning myself, can I do it? Is it going to happen? Stop. Just go forward. Right. Go full speed ahead despite the obstacles. Just go through them. Knock them down. You're capable of it. Get out and rock and roll. And on that...